Welcome students. Applications of biotechnology in medicine. Today's topic is gene therapy. What is gene therapy and what is its principle? See, in the present day, many chromosomal defects can be corrected by this promising technique called gene therapy. It is a collection of methods which allows correction of a genetic defect. You can alter the gene in a child or an embryo. In adults, it is not yet started, but in children and embryo, this therapy is being practiced. It replaces the defective gene in the person's cell, and a normal gene is introduced. The defective gene is replaced with a normal gene. Thus, a complex condition can be treated. Basically, if you say genes are part of DNA, so genes are the blueprint of your life. Whatever your cell does, whatever happens in the cellular machinery is dictated by the gene that is present on your DNA. Sometimes it may happen that the genes undergo mutation. That means some sequences are altered by chance. And that is why incorrect instructions are given to the cells. So that kind of incorrect instructions caused by the mutation produces an abnormal protein, or the protein production is totally disabled. That can also happen, either abnormal protein or no protein at all. So such changes in the gene can cause diseases due to lack of that particular protein. So any mistakes in genes can be corrected by this technique called gene therapy. So what is the principle? Any defective gene is identified and it is replaced by a normal functional gene. So the functional gene takes over the work now. It compensates for the non-functional gene. So the protein functions are restored. And for this, a vector is needed. A retrovirus vector is normally used, which is disarmed. That means its infectious ability is turned off. We will read in the next screen in detail. How is the vector disarmed and what is its capability now? How it is transferring the therapeutic gene, that is a healthy gene, to the cell which has been removed of, that defective gene from which has been removed of. So when this therapeutic gene is introduced, the therapeutic proteins are produced and the cells function normally. Now before we come to the detail of gene therapy, we will talk about a disease which is due to deficiency of an enzyme, adenosine deaminase. So what is ADA deficiency and what are its outcomes? SCID is the disease. It's a profound defect of immune system, both cellular immune system and the humoral immune system. So how is this disease SCID caused? The full form is severe combined immunodeficiency. This is caused due to the deficiency of this enzyme called adenosine deaminase, in short ADA. So the disease is caused due to deficiency. But before understanding the deficiency, let us see what is the role of ADA. It is involved in purine metabolism. You know, we take in food which contains carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and even nucleic acid. Every plant product also has nucleic acid and our body digests all of them to make our raw materials, right? So what happens is the DNA present in that foodstuff, when being degraded, digested, the purine metabolism requires presence of adenosine deaminase. That means it breaks down the adenosine component of DNA. That is the role of ADA. So if ADA is present in the cells, the molecule, after breaking down of DNA, the molecule deoxyadenosine has to be converted into deoxyinosine. Deoxyadenosine has to be converted to deoxyinosine, for which ADA is required. So if ADA is present, this happens. If ADA is absent, deoxyadenosine accumulates, which is toxic, especially to lymphocytes, B and T cells. This may not be as harmful to any other cells, but for T and B cells, lymphocytes, this accumulation of deoxyadenosine can be highly toxic. So if only ADA enzyme is active, it is functional, it can be converted to non-toxic deoxyinosine. So that is the basic mechanism. So let us see how we talk about this bone marrow cells and lymphocyte production. You know, bone marrow cells produce lymphocytes. T cells and B cells are produced in the bone marrow and they control the cell-mediated and humoral immune system. This we have done in chapter immunity. Now, if ADA is present, the lymphocyte cells which are formed will be functional. The arrow up is it will be good enough. Okay, they will be functional. And if ADA is absent, the lymphocytes will be poorly functional. That is the only thing I have written here, and that depends on this mechanism. So ADA present, good lymphocytes, because this is not accumulating. Deoxyadenosine is not accumulating. It can be toxic. If it accumulates, it is toxic. So poor lymphocytes when ADA is absent. Now reasons for this enzyme. Why is ADA deficient? This is a genetic disorder. So there can be a mutation, a deletion in the gene coding for adenosine deaminase, or the gene can be a faulty gene with not proper instruction. Anything can be a reason. So it's a kind of mutation. What is the effect in people having this kind of deletion? It leads to selective toxicity, as I discussed here, not for all cells, but for lymphocytes, absence of ADA can be very toxic. So it is selective, it shows selective toxicity affecting primarily T cells, to a lesser extent B cells also. Okay, so if not treated, it can be fatal. The child can die within a year of birth if this problem is not fixed. Condition of the patient is because of non-functional T lymphocytes, he or she shows very poor immune response against any invading pathogen. That means they have so many disorders. That disease is called severe combined immunodeficiency. Children born with such poor immune system are susceptible to severe infections. They go on getting every kind of infection. And the first case of gene therapy was done on a 4-year-old girl who was suffering from this problem. And this first clinical therapy was done in the year 1990. So let us see how is gene therapy done. From a donor, a functional ADA, adenosine deaminase coding gene is taken and its cDNA is made, which is incorporated into a suitable plasmid and cloned in a bacterial cell. So when many copies of that desirable gene is made, a retrovirus is used. But the retrovirus is disarmed. That means it is disabled. Its own genome is disintegrated so that the vector cannot reproduce in the host cells. So it is disarmed. And in its place, a ADA gene is given. That means the desirable gene is given with only that portion of the vector intact which is needed to allow the entry of this gene into the cell. That means it is still capable of integrating the therapeutic gene into the human cell, but it is not able to reproduce. That means viral cells will not be formed. So retrovirus is made to infect the cultured lymphocytes of ADA deficient patient. From where do you get this lymphocyte? This is derived from the patient. His bone marrow or blood cells are withdrawn, from which T lymphocytes are cultured. So this virus is allowed to infect these cultured cells. Okay, so it delivers the ADA gene. Now this cells with the ADA gene is confirmed for expression. That is it going to make good enzyme ADA? That is confirmed, and then it is this genetically altered lymphocyte is regiven or implanted to the patient's bone marrow. So the patient starts producing ADA. When ADA function is restored, normally B and T cells are functional now. So that is how this gene therapy works. But it is not a permanent cure. Why? Because lymphocytes are not immortal. That means it is mortal. It has a short life. So periodically this infusion has to be done. Genetically engineered lymphocytes have to be given. So it is not permanent for a child who is already born. Then what could be the permanent cure? If that same procedure could be done in an embryonic stage. Suppose an embryo is diagnosed. There are methods of diagnosing diseases in embryo. Suppose an embryo is diagnosed with the defect in the gene. So the early embryonic cells can be retrieved. Early embryonic cells are collected either in the trophoblast stage or in the blastocyst stage. So this this is trophoblast stem cells are retrieved. They are totipotent. That means they have the ability to form the whole individual. And embryonic stem cells from the blastocyst stage are pluripotent, means they are capable of giving rise to so many organs, full organs. Okay, as the embryo grows, these are the cells which are responsible as stem cells to produce other organs, other cells of all the organs. So what happens? This has to be retrieved. If this can be retrieved, and the same method, the ADA gene can be incorporated through the viral vector into these cells, and if these cells can be given back to the that stage of the embryonic cell, the embryo can be free from those diseases. So this can be a good perspective, but not in much use now, because that has got its own. Because mice and all research is being done, but it's not so full-fledged. Okay, in your book, NCERT book, what is mentioned is bone marrow transplantation. One method is, it is not explained at all, but they have said bone marrow transplantation as one of the methods, where it is slightly different from gene therapy. Here the cells are taken out and corrected. In bone marrow transplantation, there is first step identification of a good immunological matched donor with the same genotype. Okay, and then the patient's bone marrow cells are destroyed by chemotherapy or radiation. Then the cells from the matched donor are infused to the patient. Like if we talk about a child which is born and with that defect, that kind of infusion is done of the whole bone marrow from the donor. And in a week's time, these bone marrow cells of the donor will start making more and more cells. It will proliferate. The stem cells will proliferate and mature in the patient's bone marrow and be in circulation. So that can be a method, but more than 25-50% cases matched donor availability is not possible. So this is not much in use now. Research is going on those things also. Another ideal approach is not gene therapy, but enzyme replacement therapy. This is not gene therapy. Just like any enzyme is infused into the patient. So such enzymes are marketed. They are commercially available. Again, not a permanent method of cure, because functional ADA enzyme is injected into the patient periodically. It has to be given periodically. Once the enzyme's effect is over, again next dose of enzyme has to be given. Okay. Now this is something, a little extra screen I have put, types of gene therapy, not so much needed for 12th class, but just for your understanding. It can be somatic and germline. Somatic is what we discussed. Okay, therapeutic gene is introduced into any cell, somatic cell, not germ cell. Germ cell means gametes. So germline therapy is therapeutic gene is introduced into gametes. That is heritable. That means it is corrected in the gametes. So future generation will not have that disease. So that also is a good prospect that may come up. Somatic gene therapy is of two types, ex vivo and in vivo. What we discussed in the previous frame is ex vivo. That means you are using a vector to transfer the gene into target cells in the culture plate, and then those rectified cells are given to the patient. So it is done outside the patient's body. So it is called ex vivo. In vivo, if the same thing is done without culturing the patient cell outside, the vector is allowed to transfer the gene by directly injecting it into the patient. Okay, so that is in vivo method. Cells are modified inside the patient. Prospects of other clinical trials, diseases which are in good chance of being cured by gene therapy are cystic fibrosis, leukemia, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, and even some cancers. There are many more diseases, and the research is being going on done for better results. That's all for now. So mainly focus on gene therapy ex vivo and what is enzymatic infusion, that is enzyme therapy. Directly enzymes incorporated into the body. Those are not permanent cure. What is permanent cure? If it is done in an embryo. Thank you so much. I hope it is understood. Thank you. Keep watching, keep learning.